Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is an item very specialist, sort of gay, Uranian poetry interest. It's a 1924 edition, the first and I suspect only edition of gay poetry addressed to young men by A. Newman, who is in fact Frank Edwin Murray, a printer in the Brompton Road in London, and a member of the sort of Uranian poets circle, who published this book very privately in 1924. And this gives you some idea of the contents. From A Lover's Garden, More Rondeau and Other Verses of Boyhood by A. Newman, author of Rondeau of Boyhood, with a foreword by John Gambrel Nicholson. Nicholson was the sort of doyen of the Uranian poetry movement, who wrote a foreword in this book called The 20th Century Boy. It's all very sentimental, very, very homoerotic stuff, items on a young man's first shave, items on school, poems of great sentiment, very chaste. It's not pornographic in any way, but it's a subject and a style which has long become unfashionable, and even at the time was had to be privately printed. This edition was limited to 200 copies. The condition of this book is pretty good for its age. There's a little sort of shelfware and browning to the spine, but the binding is good, clean. It's been uncut there. The edges are slightly rough, and it's a very sought after volume. There are currently 3 copies for sale on the 140 million volume Abe Books antiquarian book site. They're priced at £240, £307 and £450. Okay, my starting price is much lower than that. I'm not going to lower the starting price. It's what I want for it, and it's what I think it should fetch. There we are, From A Lover's Garden by Frank Edwin Murray, otherwise known as A. Newman. Privately printed, homoerotic Uranian poetry of 1924. Thanks very much indeed. Bye.